untitled.co.uk. Basically, because I was writing for a blogger based in Edinburgh who was running news stories, reviews and stuff about Scottish music, but it was basically just booking for shows that he wanted to go to, and then he took on a few writers to kind of help out with it. It was kind of frustration of me not getting full control over that, and I kind of set it up for myself to start it doing my own thing, and then obviously I had the power to cover what I wanted to cover exactly, and to actually manage and edit the own style of the site myself. It's a bit of a bizarre one. It's kind of a joke name that I had for a best friend of mine's girlfriend at the time. It was that time when the new Rave was about, and she was just dressed in neon colours all the time, so it was like, she's the Rave child, and there's like kind of awful stories to go behind the whole thing, but I won't go into detail about it. Well, it's basically started off as a blog, so it was and a uni project too, to be honest. I had to set up a website and manage content and have a range of materials, so features, reviews, news, that kind of stuff. But it kind of grew from there. So it was just set up for a WordPress platform. It still is on WordPress, but it's hosted independently now. So it's not directly through WordPress anymore, but it's still hosted like a blog, but it's just a few tweaks in the background that don't make it look like one. I've written a few things freelance now and again, but the music thing, it's always a case of there's not much pay in writing elsewhere. It's all free work. I mean, I spent a week working at the NME, which was fun, but it was unpaid experience type thing. But yeah, it's writing reviews. I'd rather do it for myself than do it for someone else if it's a case of I'm not getting paid for it. So if I can do it for myself, get the viewing figures for Rave Child, and then grow the site as a brand, and obviously get bands enthused with the brand, so you're kind of getting more viewing, and then in turn any bands that you mention in the future are getting more promotion out of it. Well, I had set contacts that I used through the other site. I had photographers and writers that helped me out, but in terms of setting up the site as a blog and stuff, it's all been done through Google searches and certain things that you learn at university. Yeah, it's mainly about bands. When you're mentioning bands, you'll link them on Facebook, link them on Twitter, and email them saying that we've got this feature up, can you share it? And then it kind of grows from there. Like you say you mention a band in a review, and once you've messaged it back to them, then hopefully their fans will go and read it, and then they'll hopefully come back and read content about other bands. Yeah. But it's that kind of idea, yeah. Not really, because it was just set up as a piece of fun, to be honest. It was kind of I'd set this up to get a few free shows and have the power to be able to edit my own content and put stuff online. Obviously, with Rave Child, it's kind of it has been difficult. There has been difficulties, but not really in the setup process, because it wasn't set up as a serious thing where I was putting hours and hours into it, which I am now. But it's kind of less stressful. But it's obviously the main difficulty at the moment is making money, which it doesn't make a massive amount at all. I have to work 2 days a week, 10 hours a day to kind of pay the bills, and even that is just scraping by kind of thing. I mean, there's plenty of Glasgow-based music websites, but I don't view them as competition. We're all promoting the same thing. We've all got the same goal. I mean, Scottish Fiction is taking a break just now, but Neil, who runs that, does a really good radio show on Pulse FM, or Pulse 98.4, which I used to do a show on, but travelling commitments and stuff, I stopped doing it. But his stuff's really good. Same with Glasgow Podcast. Helena, that does that, is really enthusiastic and great at what she does. But it's all different angles that we're covering. I cover a lot more reviews, and I do the listings kind of thing with Rave Child, whereas so they're more kind of voice-orientated stuff. Obviously, they do writing stuff as well, but the content varies, but we're all aiming towards the same goal. Well, like I say, I work that part-time job, so that's a Saturday, Sunday that I work that. So it's kind of, that takes that out. I do sometimes come back in from work and manage stuff, but because most of my emails come from PRs, they all work through the week, so most of my content is generated and published Monday to Friday. I find that gets more readership at that time. But generally, Monday and over the weekend, what I'd do is I'd work on updating the listings, getting them up to date, and first thing Monday morning, it's a case of sending the reviewers out lists of these are the records we've got for review. Does anyone want to review any of these? And then we'll send them out to whoever wants them, and finding out if anyone wants to cover any gigs for in the next month. We usually send 3 weeks to a month, and it's a case of when they pick, say, I want to cover this show, then I would make the contacts with either the PR or the band themselves. If it's a local band, it's usually through the band. If it's a touring band, usually through the PR. And then see if we can arrange guest lists and throw passes and stuff. If that's not possible, then we don't cover the show. But unless the person wanting to do the review is willing to pay to go along. But obviously I wouldn't make them do that. That's not. But yeah, in terms of the rest of the time, I get content coming through sporadically, so it's edit as it comes, constantly managing emails, constantly updating the site. Obviously, when I get content through, it's editing, finding the right pictures to go with it. If we've got the photographer going to a gig, then it's a case of getting the photographer to send the pictures over. If it's a case of it's a news story, we'll kind of either lift it from the archives of photos that we've got, or take out, find promotion shots online, or get PRs to send us promotion shots. And then you can put that stuff online, and then all edit it, get it online, and then it's a case of promoting it through the social media and stuff like that. But it's not particularly a routine, it's as it comes kind of thing. Yeah, quite a lot. Usually at the moment I'm averaging 2 a week, but it kind of can end up being 4 or 5. It can end up being 1 or none, depends on what's happening that particular week, both in my personal life and with what actual shows are on in town that week. Obviously there's certain times of year that's slower than others. But since I started Rave Child, it's about 2.5 years old in terms of when I first started it as a small thing. But we'll be pushing 200 shows maybe. I don't. I have contributors. I write a lot of reviews myself, but I also have got a list of about 50 or so writers. Only 4 or 5 of them do it on a regular basis, but you occasionally get some of the other ones picking up a review and saying, I quite fancy doing that one. I've not done anything in a while, so I'll pick it up. But there's 4 or 5 people who do write on a regular basis, like some like once or twice a week, some once a month kind of thing. I don't know, I get a real buzz out of seeing it grow. I mean, like this time last year, the viewing figures were really low, and now it's like a reasonable rate for it being very Glasgow focused. But I guess you're meeting these bands who are kind of aiming towards living the dream, or already living that dream. They're already making a living out of music, not particularly for the Glasgow acts, but there are a few Glasgow acts that have gone up that way, but the ones in Glasgow are kind of aiming towards that, and you get to meet some great people doing it, and you make some great contacts. And I don't know, I just love interacting with music and reviewing it in general, and talking about it. It's a passion kind of thing. And to get the experience, like, just write as much as you can. I mean, it's the same with any form of journalism. It's a case of just write and write and write, practice your skills, interview people, and get to that point where you know what you're doing and you're good at it. And the experience will come, like, if you either setting up your own thing or writing for something similar to Rave or even Rave itself. But it's a case of, like, get that experience, get names on your CV, get content that you can send to people who are actually hiring for those jobs. Or if you're wanting to set something up yourself, then it's a case of get your platform behind you. Usually I'd advise start off setting it up as a blog. Whether it looks like a blog or not is a different matter. Just get it started, get your content out there, promote it as much as possible, speak about what you're writing about on Twitter, Facebook, and obviously email the people you're speaking to it about, and get people to share it and like it and retweet it, whatever. Get it out there, get your stuff read. Depends what you define as success. I feel it's been a success in terms of what I wanted to do. It's a good resource for Scottish music, specifically Glasgow. The listens facility gets a lot of feedback, and it's all positive. But you get, like, obviously review content. There's certain things that you want to do more of, and obviously the aspiration is to potentially make a living out of what I'm doing. But in terms of that, I've not really achieved that yet. But I have achieved success for what I want to do now, but it's a case of there's more that I want to aim for. Yeah, I mean, generally, Rave Child's I've recently got a technical guy working in the background, working on hosting the domain and everything like that, and helping with the SEOs, the search engine optimization stuff, to try and generate more traffic through the website. And I mean, there's obviously we're going to try and get some kind of advertising through it that will kind of generate more money, which can go to either paying reviewers or putting on events, which we have done in the past as well. But it's a case of it's few and far between at the moment. But I mean, the aim is to make money out of it, but the also aim is to promote Glasgow music, or Scottish music in general, or even UK, the world. I mean, the next logical step is to expand the site. I mean, to go to Edinburgh. But while I'm not making the money out of it, I can't afford to. I don't have the physical time to be able to do that. So it's either a case of me sourcing someone who's willing to do that, working towards making money, or whether it's a case of I can make money out of the site before I do that. Yeah. I mean, I could manage that from here. It'd be a case of managing a group of writers from Edinburgh.